I share my screen with you guys. Perfect. So I'll stay here with the blog, and while we go through day 2, we're going to start with IDEs. So an IDE, as we mentioned earlier, is an integrated development environment, which is where we write and we run Python code, and there are various tools for various operating systems. For me personally, I prefer using Visual Studio Code or VS Code because it's light and it's customizable. Here is a quick view of how it looks like. I was trying to do some work with it earlier, but yeah, this is how Visual Studio Code looks like when you want to create a new file. Let me open a folder and say we are creating 100 days. We can create it from here, and we can add, open this folder, can add a new file, say hello.py, and we create the file, and it's automatically going to recognize that it's a Python file. Oops. And it's going to do the necessary, but that's not what we're going to cover today. Today we are going to just look at the basics of Python. So once you have your IDE installed, or once you have it installed on your terminal, like here, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using Linux. Can you guys see? I might increase the font. Let me just increase the font. Oh. There. So when you want to first of all start a terminal in Python, you start with going to the command python 3 if you're on Linux and on Mac, but if you're on Windows, you just type Python, and then you do that and you're in. Your first command that you're going to learn is hello world, which is something that we use every time to see how the program works. So whether using C, whether using C++, HTML, in Python now, you're going to have to use hello world. So we use the print command, and we add up quotes, and we say hello world, and you close it with a bracket, and you press enter, and this is the response that you're going to get back: print hello world. Okay, you can also do the same from your IDE and you run it from there, but we'll start doing that from tomorrow. So next is we're going to talk about comments, and for that I think please allow me to switch to the IDE because it's just easier. So for comments, we have two types of comments. We have single line comments. Single line comments allow you to just write one comment in one line, and multi-line, as the name suggests, you write a lot. You can write a paragraph. Mostly you write comments to explain your thoughts or to explain your process during the coding journey, because your mind is not a filing cabinet. So give it the grace of memory loss. Give it the grace of memory loss, and be kind to yourself when you forget. It also, comments are good because when you want to go back into your thought journey, when you pushed your work into your repo, you want to look and see how you are thinking. So you write a comment with a single line comment with a hashtag, and a multi-line comment with 3 dots. And I'm going to show you a neat trick here on Visual Studio. If you want to write a comment, just do Control and slash or the question mark tab, and you get the single line. So I'm going to write this, this is a single line comment. If you want to do multi-line, as I mentioned earlier, just there, and it's going to recognize that this is a multi-line. Comment. I will be writing my thoughts like this. Okay. Any questions so far on comments? Remember, when you're running comments, or when you're writing comments, sorry, they are not going to be processed by the compiler, so they're just going to be ignored. So you can write whatever you want. It's also good when you're having a group project, you write your comments, write your thoughts so that people can understand what you are coding. Since there are no comments, we're going to move on to the next section, which is arithmetics. Arithmetics are basic mathematical operations. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor, which basically removes the decimal operation. We have the print function, which, the modulus function, which gives you the remainder, and the exponential is the power function. So back to the terminal. Say we want to do addition. We write print 5 plus 3, and I can add here a comment and say this is addition, and I press enter, and the result is here. It's an 8. If we do the same for subtraction, 5 minus 2, and we add a comment, voila. Let's do the others. Print, next is multiplication. Print 15 by 3. I expect 45. We are multiplied. If we do division on the same value, we get 5. As you can see, it brings up a dot because sometimes some divisions, they come with decimals. So if we say divide by 4, it's going to give us the decimal value included. For the next one, what have I forgotten? Floor and modulus. Okay, so next is floor. Oops. What example can I use? Okay, let's use that one. 10 floor 3. It's gonna give us 3. It found the nearest whole values and discredited the remainders. Next is modulus, which is going to give us the remainder, not the actual value. So if we come and do this, modulus. So modulus is that percentage sign, I expect a 1, right? Because when you divide from 10 3 times, you're going to get a remainder of 1. If we do 15 modulus, what's not divisible? Let's say 4. I expect 3. Yeah, because the remainder is going to be 3. But if we take a whole value, something that's we don't expect a remainder, like 9 modulo 3, it's gonna be 0 because there's no remainder. Okay, so next is the exponential, which is something you can use for like cubes. You can do the basic 2 exponent of 2. Let's write the comment here. Exponential, expect 4. If we do exponential of 2 by 3, it's gonna be 8, and so on and so forth. So those are the basic mathematical operations that you're going to be using a lot of the times in Python. They're the most basic, but they're also the most common, right? Does anyone have a question so far? Okay, for those that joined, the link is on the pinned description, so just click on it and you'll come to this workspace that we are using. This is where the notes are. So next we are going to discuss constants and variables, and we use constants and variables to store information, but the difference is that variable stores information that can change while constants holds the same value. Now in Python, unlike C, there's no way for the compiler to know that what you're writing is a constant. So we normally write them in uppercase. So the next, it's always a, what is it called? It's more like a standard. Even when you're writing in C, you're going to write them constants in caps. But for this one, it's more for the team and also for you when you're doing the reviewal. It's basic practice. When you're writing code in constants, it should always be caps, and variables are in small letters. Constants are values that cannot change. So for example, your year of birth, you cannot change your year of birth. The value of pi, the value of gravity, those are things that cannot change. But things that are variables are, for example, your age can change. Your height, as you're growing up, it can also change. Also, when you're using different, say you're in a group of people have different names. So when you're creating a database, that's going to be a variable. The age, everyone has different ages, so that's also going to be a variable. And also people have different heights. But at the same time, some things are the same, like pi and gravity. And maybe you guys can write in the comment section or in the chat what else is a constant that cannot change. And then there'll be a surprise for them at the end of the session. So as we mentioned earlier, variables can be updated anytime, but constants remain fixed. And as I mentioned, Python does not enforce constant, but by convention, they're written in uppercase. So I'm telling you this because you might find yourself one day changing the value of pi without knowing. The compiler will not bring you an error. It's up to you to be sure that you're not changing a constant. So say for example you want to have, oh my god, now latecomers, please, if it's going to 9, it's past 9:25, just, it's distracting. Please make sure you're here by 9:10. If you're not here by 9:10, just wait for the recorded session, because I'm the moderator and I'm also teaching. I can't do both effectively. Thank you. So next we are looking at user input. And welcome latecomers, but next time please keep time. User input is what allows interactivity in the computer or in the system, and it allows you to make your code more diverse. Say, for example, if I go back here into the terminal, if I go back into our num function and we give it a variable, we're going to write an input, and the input you're going to give it a variable, say text is input, and we're going to give them a prompt, and it's going to register as a string first of all. And let me show you the basic structure. It's going to be a string, so the input, you put it up, the input is going to be stored in a variable, and input is a function just like print, but the data that it collects is going to be collected and stored as a string. So for this example, we can take name or age or color. So you can say name and then input and then enter your name. So for example, if you're creating a game and you want it to be interactive and you want the user to sign in and to be able to track their data, you can add their name, you can ask them for their age. Oh, sorry, that's a function. We'll learn that later. What's your age? Oops. There. Okay, and when we run, over here we have the terminal at the bottom. Can you guys see this one over here? So my name, I'm gonna write Tracy, and my age 27, and that's it, it's done. So if we want to view what we just printed or what we just wrote down, we can call the print function and tell it to print name and also print age. So when we run this function again, it's gonna come and say, what's my name? My name is Tracy. How old am I? I'm 27. And it's gonna show up here. Okay, so we come and we do a consolidation of everything that we've done. So let's add the color variable so that I can tell you what my favorite color is. We add color and input, what's your favorite color? Let's add a space so that it's going to look more presentable. And then over here at the print, let's do a concatenation. That's the word. It's a, I was calling consolidation. We do a concatenation of everything that we've done by writing the string. So we say hello. When you're doing a concatenation, you add the plus sign. When this only works when you're doing print, right? So we say hello name plus string again, your age is space plus age, and you like the color space, plus, let me close this one, they're perfect, plus color. And the reason why I enjoy using Visual Studio Code, this IDE that you can see on your screen, is because it's simple, it's beginner friendly, it's also best for advanced. It has a lot of shortcuts which we will learn along the way. I've shown you how to write a comment. We write a comment by pressing, if you're using I have a HP Elite book, so from there I just press the control button and the /. So control /, that line becomes a comment button. If I want to uncomment it, I press the same thing, control and /, and it's now not commentable. So if I want to add a comment here, we say print, this is a concatenation, yeah, there. So we run the file again. So we come and we press this run button, and we do it the third time. So my name is Tracy, I am 27, and my favorite color is, I have a lot, I don't really have a favorite, but I think for today we'll work with red. So it's red. And then when I press enter, say hello Tracy. Oh yeah, I didn't add a space here, sorry. So it's looking a bit jumbled. Hi Tracy, space, your age is, space, and your color is, okay, let's now do it again. If you want to undo, Control Z, but I'm sure everyone knows that. Tracy, 27, red, better. So it says hello Tracy, you can add a comma here, your age is 27, and your favorite color is, then we can add a full stop over there like that. Does anyone have any questions so far? Feel free, you can raise your hands or you can ask on the chat box. Okay, so this is a quiz for you guys, and you can send your response to the chat on WhatsApp. Is this correct really? Hold on. Future age, yeah. So we have a constant, which is a current year, and we have the name, and we have the age, and we have a variable called future age, which takes your current age plus 5. And then afterwards, when you're done, you print the results. I'm going to do this here, but I encourage you guys to also do it and share a screenshot on the chat of your results, okay? Remember, we are going to, as we proceed, we have a assessment, and we are also going to issue certification and prizes to the top 3 based on the metrics of attendance and participation and also collaboration. There is going to be a group project, but that's going to be towards the end when you guys are comfortable with Python. So let's start. We teach by examples. So start with this one. Current year. Let's create a new Python file. D2. And I have an error. Why do I have? Sorry. And let me see where I have an error. It's not closed. Why is not closed? Java. So we have current year, which is the constant. The current year is not going to change until we graduate 2026. So we have current year is 2025, and then next we are going to we're going to take the age and the name. So it's going to be an input. What's your name? age is also going to be an input. Oops. Space. And then we have age. No, I forgot the name of the variable. Let's call it future age. Future age is going to be age plus 5. Okay. And after that, we're gonna print. So when we are printing hello name. In 5 years you will be. So here is another function we are gonna look at. So over here, what it's doing, it's taking the value of age and it's converting it into a string using the str function. I'm going to tell you that in a few minutes. Let me finish. So we run the print function and we say hello, concatenate it with the name. You will be so we are taking the future age since it's an integer. So future age here is an integer. And print only works with strings. Oh my goodness, I forgot this. We have 5 data types, popular ones that are not used in Python. Integer, which are whole numbers. Decimals are numbers with fractions. And strings are values like sentences or what we have here. They're basically alphabetical structures. Trying to remember the others. I'll tell you about the others as we go along. I'll also add them to the notes. I'm really sorry about that. And future age plus space years old. Full stop. So we have the current year, which is 2025. I'm using the current year here. +5 and then okay. So over here I don't see where we are using the current year, but let's add it here. Let's add it here to our statement, and we say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm drawing blanks. Let's just run this and then we proceed from there. So we're expecting it to ask for our name, add a space here, and our age, and it's supposed to do the calculations of our current age, add 5 and tell us how many years we are going to be in 5 years time, right? So I'm trying to think of how we're going to use this. Okay, we can say hello, you will be this in 5 years, but well, Okay. Let me close the terminal and start over. How am I gonna? No, I don't want to split the terminal. I just wanna Control L. There, perfect. I wanted to get the terminal to get to the top so you guys cannot see, not get distracted by the information at the bottom. So my name is Tracy and I am 27. So, aha, good, we have an error. So it's saying type error can only concatenate string and not int into string. Can only concatenate string and only not. Yeah, I mean, this is an integer. Oh, okay, it's already a So it's saying that age is a string. So let's turn that into an integer. And then hi Mercy. Welcome to the session. But moving forward, we've just put out a disclaimer. Anyone coming in past 9:25, please don't even bother. Thank you. We are going to put out the recorded sessions. We want to encourage people to keep time. Thank you. So, start our name, Tracy, 27, and voila. So, what it did was over here, it takes the input, and since it's a string, it's not going to perform mathematical calculations on a string. You have to convert it first into an integer, which is what we did here. We took the integer and we converted it from a string to an integer, and then it performed the calculations. Now when we are coming here to print it, it's converted again into a string. I know it's a lot, but it's very simple once you get the hang of it. And afterwards, when we are done, we run the print function, and this is our result. So in 5 years, I'm going to be 32. Brilliant. So next, when you're done, you take your code and you push it to GitHub. I've added the instructions here on how to push your work to GitHub. I haven't yet created a repository, but I will create it later on, and I will record it so you guys can see it. But the instructions are very basic. Just follow these ones and you won't get lost. So we are reaching our 10 minutes for question and answers. In case anyone has a question, please feel free to ask right now. Okay, I will take that as a positive response. Let's end the session here. In case you guys have any questions, you can ask them on the group. The setup is the same. What we've done here is the same thing. The challenge, the bonus challenge, working with variables and constants. Share the results on the group via screenshot, and I'm going to set up the GitHub tutorial right now. We already have, so okay, let's just create the repo so you guys can see, but this is very easy if you're configuring it on Git. So if you're using Windows, these are the instructions. For those who are using Mac or Linux, I can try to show you using Linux since that's what I'm using. Open a new terminal. I have already installed Git, so a lot of these instructions are going to be redundant. So it says sudo install, no, is it sudo apt? Yeah, sudo apt install git, and then we enter the password, and as you can see, git is already installed. In order to configure your GitHub to your account, you need to follow these instructions. And when you're doing git config global user.name, you add, this is your account username, and when you're adding the email, this is the email you used during sign-on. Email, registration email. Okay, good. So this allows you to be able to push your code without any problems on the repository. If we can go to GitHub, so let's go to, sorry, this is our repo. If you come and you want to create a repository, just come there to that new, and then you write the repository name. So here we're gonna write 100 days of Python. You can add a description if you're interested. Here's we're going to put it as a public repository, so you guys can come and check later and add a readme. And afterwards, you create your repository. And we have it here. So you can clone it via HTTPS or SSH if you have it configured, or you can just download the zip file by itself. And next, you've created the repo. So next you come and initialize. Excuse me, I'm going to perform this operation on terminal over here. So you do git init, and it has been initialized. And the next step, I'm sorry, I forgot, we are supposed to add. Now when you add all the files. So all the files that you have created is going to be added to the repository, and then you commit the branch M to main. It's the branch that you're going to be pushing your code to. You can have several branches, and then you can add your repository to the origin master, and then finally you push. When you push, it means you are sending your code from your local host or your device to GitHub, which is online, and it's your repository. The benefits of having your work on GitHub is that you can be able to use it on any platform. So if you have your device here and you want to go work at the office, you don't have to carry your laptop. You can also add collaborators. So if you're working on a group, you can add your work there. And also it's a portfolio for you to speak about your work. So you can let people who are, say you want to have a gig or a freelancing gig, or you want to send it to your employer, they can be able to see that you know what you're doing. Okay? Perfect. Thank you guys for staying with us. Thank you for taking your time and joining this session. This is day 2. We have a lot more days to cover. Latecomers, I'm sorry for being strict, but I have to be strict. You guys are nuts. When you umekuja 9:45, why? Please, let's keep time. Let's be here by 9:10 latest. And I'll be allowing people in up till 9:25. Ukifungua saa uone ni 9:30, proceed with your business, because it's distracting, and the people that took their time to come in early deserve quality time. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Take advantage of the chat. We are here to help you out. Bye. Oh yeah, and the link for the chat is, sorry, the notes is here on the comment section. It's pinned. Thank you guys. Take care.